Today was another long day at the workshop working on the Batmobile with not a lot to show for it, even though a lot of work was accomplished. I spent almost the entire day focused on the trunk lid. Spent about 7 hours working on this thing. I suppose the most noticeable thing is the surface. I went at it with an angle grinder and basically just knocked it flat, because what I plan on doing is adding some sidewalls onto here, and I wanted a good clean surface that I can then hit with some 40 grit sandpaper to give it a nice tooth to chomp into. And in case there was any wax on the ceiling layer, assuming the guy who did the layup even did a ceiling layer, I wanted to make sure that was off. So that also meant knocking down a lot of macro contour problems, like there was some dripping resin that I wanted to get rid of, some lumps, some bumps, some dips, some valleys, and those are, for the most part, smoothed out to my satisfaction. Probably totally unnecessary, because this will be inside the car, never to be seen, but this is the way my brain works. Most of the effort and time went on these, and unfortunately right now they actually look worse than they did earlier today. What I did was, the first thing I did was I ground all these things even. All these lines were straight and smooth and even, and then I went in and backfilled all of the air pockets that I had hogged out in these spaces. Before my last effort, I was chopping out air pockets all over the place, but I really noticed these were real problem areas. So I spent a bunch of time dremeling those out, getting as much of the air pockets out as I could. Then I went and filled them in with fiberglass. So each of these slits got an ounce of fiberglass resin and a bunch of chopped strand mat to fill in those gaps to my satisfaction. And they ended up being really messy, so I had to go back in and grind them again. And so this is where we are. So this still needs some attention, obviously, but what I would call load-bearing work has been done. All those air pockets that I saw that I wasn't a fan of have been filled. They've been fiberglassed over, they've been drilled out and fiberglassed. I'm gonna go in and fill them in with a little putty to make sure. But anyway, this is what 7 hours of labor looks like here at the project workbench.